Hi everyone, I'm zongfu, first year in science concentrating on China study. Today I want to talk about a psychological technique called design thinking. I want to talk, I acquired this concept from my podcast. It is introduced by Dave Evans, who teaches a class in Stanford University called Design a Life. Design your life. Actually, I want to talk about this concept from the origin of this concept, where this idea is generated, and then I will come to the core of this concept. And since this is a psychological method, so I will, it has applied range. So on which problem it should be applied, it should be used. So I will talk about this. After that, I will talk about the steps of this psychological techniques, and of course the advantages and disadvantages. Okay, so I believe everyone at least has a glimpse of the Apple mouse, you know. So even though I cannot afford to buy an Apple mouse, so
mouse?
Mouse.
Mouse.
Like
Oh.
like this.
Oh, okay.
Sorry. So, but I just want to ask you a question. On the normal model, the most popular model of the mouse produced by Apple, how much button on it? How many buttons on mouse? I believe it's one. So, why they produce a mouse with only one button? Actually, they didn't know at the beginning. So they just developed several prototypes. First, they experienced it and had some feedback, and after that, they gave these prototypes to consumers and then gather their feedbacks. Finally, they came up with the idea of the mouse with only one button. This is design thinking in high-tech product. Actually, Evans is one of the designer at that time. So after that, he realized that this approach actually can be applied to our lives. So he quit his job and then started to studied course for normal people to design their future. I believe everyone here may feel puzzled when considering your future, especially after coming to science. For example, me, I'm really interested in international organization. Maybe I want to find a job in like World Bank. But I'm also interested in consulting. So which direction should I go? So that makes me feel stuck. And this technique can actually help you to get unstuck. And the core of this technique is to do something practical and doable instead of making a perfect decision. Because always in most time, we want to find the perfect answer. We want to come up with a perfect solution to specific problems. Actually, we cannot in most of the time. So why we cannot come up with this perfect? So it has something with the problems. It's actually Evans divided the problems into two categories. First is a temp problem, called temp problem. This problem, you have solution to it. Second one is a wicked problem, that the criteria is changing over time. So you cannot reuse the solution you developed before over and over again. So considering the changing condition, you need to find a proper approach to it, just like your future decision. the time condition situation is changing over time. So you need to come up. So you need to go step by step instead of making a ultimate goal, a perfect decision. So he just used it on this kind of problem. It's called wayfinding problem, because you need to find a way step by step, rather than to rush to the you need to go mile by mile instead of you set up a goal 1,000 miles away. So how to do this step by step? He provided us 5 steps. First is to build up especially considering your future, you need to build up 3 different versions of your life. For example, maybe I will join an international organization, maybe the consulting companies, and then to go and try some prototypes of every version. Maybe I will develop on this approach how to get to this goal, and on other approach how to get that goal. Then you need to experience it every prototype and find whether you enjoy it. And of course, you can also share your experience with your friends, with your family, with your professor to get their feedbacks on it. Finally, you just go back to the start and try it over again. So there are some advantages, of course. First, you can find your potentials, because you develop several prototypes on every version of your life. You can actually find you can actually find your ability that you didn't expect before. Second, you have a well-planned life, of course. As you can see, you go step by step, actually, you have a well-planned life. But there are some disadvantages, because it's about do something practical, something doable. So it's not a really innovative method. So it's nothing about the innovation, but about the realistic. So to conclude, this technique is the design thinking is a practical psychological techniques to do something practical, doable, instead of something perfect. So thank you for your attention.
Okay, one question.
Sorry,
It's okay.
sorry about time. Okay, please.
So you introduced a lot of interesting ideas, which this is exactly the episode that I have listened to from the Hidden Brain, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I think so. So what's your plan to design your life after you listen to it? How do you apply this in your life? You can share with us.
Yes, I can share with you just I mentioned before. I mentioned in my presentation. I have my most interesting consulting, but actually I didn't take some of the course to equip myself. So I need to take courses, for example, like corporate finance or something. And this is the first step. Then second step, I need to to do something, because we have consulting club. They provide us with some project we can work on. So maybe I will join them and to see do I enjoy it? Do I have the ability to solve this project? So I will. So I believe it's benefit. So that's my perspective on this, to apply this technique in my personal life.
Okay, thank you.